Hello, this is Mihai, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use data models within a document designer. Now, why would you need data models within a document designer? It's very simple. When you create documents and you already have data structures within your processes and you already have the data models, you would want to use those instead of manually defining every field that you want to insert within the data model. So it accelerates the speed at which you design and create processes. Now, the first thing that we should do is, in order to achieve that, is to create the data models that we want to use. And go to data models, create a data model using a JSON. And for the purpose of this exercise, I have imagined a use case in which you would have a person that has some books that that person read, and you want to send a document or an email or something like this based on the document designer and congratulate that person for reading all those books. For this purpose, to make it easier, we're going to create two data models, one for the persons and one for the books that that person has read. In order to do that, let's give it the data model, let's give it a name, and we're going to call it person. Notice is person, not persons, because it's going to be one person, but you can create lists of persons. Okay, so I'm going to paste the data model that I have prepared. It's a simple data model containing just the first name, the last name, and create it. And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to create another data model called book. Again, edit from JSON. I'm going to copy and paste the data structure for the book, which contains the title, read year, and author. I'm going to preview it, create it, and now I have the data models. The next step is to create the document. Let's go to document designer, create a document, and now let's give it a title. Books read, congratulations. Cool. Now let's create the variable. I'm going to have two variables, one that is going to hold the person information and one that's going to hold the read books information. Now, person is of type person. Basically, it's the data model that I have just created. And then I'm going to create a variable called books, plural, which is of type book, and I'm going to choose list because I have read multiple books, not just one book. Now I have the variable, as you can see here, because I have defined the data models, I have all the attributes of that data model. So this is why it's very easy to use data models within a document designer, especially that you do not have to create all those attributes again, and then you share the data model between the process and the document designer. So basically, once you have defined the data model, you can use it anywhere in PROCESIO. Now let's create the actual document. Dear first name, last name. I wanted to congratulate you on reading all those great books. And then what we want to do is to add a table containing all those books that that particular person has read. And the way to do that is you have here an action, dynamic table with data model, and when you click this, you're going to find all the variables that you have defined, and you will find also the variables that are of type list. Click on this and it's automatically going to create a table for you with all the attributes inside of that variable. Keep in mind, you can change it, you can do basically anything with it, and let's change it a bit, make it more pleasant. Cool. Best regards, Mihai. Cool. Now that we have created the document template, let's save the document, and now let's use this document designer within a process. For that reason, we're going to go to Process Designer, create a new process. Is going to be a process, very simple process, just with the purpose of generating a document based on that particular template. We're going to make it simple as possible. Cool. Generate document with data model. Cool. So really simple. We're not going to do basically anything with this document. We're just going to create a PDF and take a look at the PDF. Let's select the template. The template is the one that we have created. Save document as PDF. File name, we're going to call it Red Books. Okay, by, and we're going to add a variable. Document output, we're going to create a variable of type file, doc. We're going to mark it as output. And we're going to go back to this, to the file name, because we need to define the variables that are of the same types that we want to inject within the document template. So let's create those variables. Then person, it doesn't have to be the same name that we have defined within the document designer. So let's give it another name. User, let's call it user. Okay, it's going to be of type person, and then user first name. Oh, by last name. Cool. So this should be the name of the document, and now I'm going to map the internal variables of the document template to the process variables. And person, I'm going to map it to user, and the books, we're going to map it to a variable that we're going to create, books red of type books book, and is going to be a list and is going to be an input. By the way, I also need to mark the user as an input. Cool. So this should be it. As you can see, I have kind of finished. This is the process. Let's save it. Let's run it. And let's insert the variable. So the user should be this one, and the books read by that user or that person are those ones. Okay, let's run it. Check the instance, and let's see the document created. This should be the document. Let's download it, and this is it. I hope that this use case is going to help you a lot in building your automations, and looking forward to see what you build with this. Have a great one.